Welcome queens, welcome kings, welcome everybody. It's your girl Nicole Banister, aka Nikki Banz. Today is Tuesday, so you are back for Nikki Banz Live. Today especially, I will be all about the sound effects because if you know anything about Nas Academy, you know that we love doing sound effects in our videos when we host classes there. And I met my guest in today's show through Nas Academy. So the sound effects will be all up in our Instagram Live today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much to those of you who are tuning in on the Instagram Live. We had to do a little time switch today because our guest is coming to us not from South Africa, not from the African continent, not from North America either, but from the Philippines. So if we had had our show, if we had had our live show at the regular time of 8 p.m. here in Cape Town, South Africa, it would have been like 2 o'clock in the morning for her. So we had to move the time up today, which is cool because now perhaps maybe we're getting some folks across the Asian continent who maybe couldn't tune in otherwise because of how early it was in the morning. So thank you all for being here today for Nikki Banz Live. And for those of you rewatching this on YouTube, you don't really care about the time because you're just watching a rerun, but you know how it goes. Your girl Nikki Banz wants to accommodate a guest from every single country in the whole entire world. So if we gotta switch the time, we will switch the time. All right, party people. It is such a treat to have this guest on today. I see she's already in the house. She's already in the building. I'm going to bring her on in just a moment, but she is our first ever guest from the Philippines, and there's no better way to kick off our first guest from the Philippines than by having this woman, Filipina Pilot Chezka. She is a mom, she is an entrepreneur, but most importantly, she is a pilot. And not only is she just a pilot, she is an influencer pilot. She is Insta famous. She's a YouTuber. She's got hundreds of thousands of followers across the internet showing you everything you've ever wanted to know about the aviation industry. And it's just so incredibly cool. I am so blessed to know her. I'm so excited to chat with her today. So ladies, gentlemen, party people, wherever you are in the world, South Africa, the Philippines, the United States, welcome to Nikki Banz Live. I'm going to do a little drum roll, and without any further ado, it is time to bring on our guest for today, Filipina Pilot Chezka. Let me get that little drum roll going. You're on.
Hi, Nikki.
Woo! Hello, Chezka.
What an introduction.
Oh my gosh, I had to, of course. You are amazing. You're so cool. I gotta give you the best introduction ever.
Thank you so much for having me. You're so pretty, by the way.
Oh
You're so
my
pretty.
gosh. Thank you so much. I feel the exact same way about you. I'm like watching all your YouTube videos. I'm like, let me put like some cute things on my face so I can match Chezka.
How are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm doing so well. It's so funny because normally I'm hosting this show at night, so it's dark outside, but now it's all like nice and sunny. I'm like, ooh, this is a nice switch.
Thank you for accommodating me at this time. I'm sorry. I know it's late here. Hi, guys.
Oh my gosh, no problem at all. Thank you. I know it's 10 p.m. for you in the Philippines right now, correct?
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh. Well, you look like you're about to go out and hit the town. You look fantastic for 10 p.m.
Thank you, Nikki.
Oh
Hi,
my
guys.
gosh. Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Super excited to have everybody here who's commenting in the chat. We love to see it. Okay, I always like to start off every episode of Nikki Banz Live by telling my guests how I know the person who I'm interviewing today. And so this is a really fun story, Chezka, because we actually met through Nas Academy. And so Nas Academy is the, incredible content creator education platform that's online where students can take classes from different trainers about different topics for content creation or video editing. But we actually met in Miss Universe 2018, Katrina Gray's course for how to be a queen. And so it's so cool that we've got two queens here today talking to each other.
I'm so honored to meet. I'm so honored to meet you, and I hope to see you in the future. Like, go there and explore your country too, or you go here and explore our country.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I would love to. So I've actually been to the Philippines before, but it was a long time ago. I visited Manila and I visited Cebu back in like 2006, 2007.
But that was a long time ago. You should come back.
I need to.
I'll tour you around the area.
Oh yes,
Around the
yes, I love to hear it. Oh my gosh, I love to hear it. That's like the perfect segue, Chezka, into all the questions I want to ask you. So let me start asking you some questions here on the show. And for everybody who's tuning in, if you have questions for our very special guest, Filipina Pilot Chezka, if you look at the bottom of your IG live screen, there's like a little thought bubble with a question mark in it. Click on that, type your question. In the last like 10, 15 minutes of the hour, I'm going to ask her all of the questions that you all have. So just use that little thought bubble at the bottom with the question mark. I will ask all the questions for you. But my first question for you, Chezka, is talk to us about your journey to becoming a pilot. Like, I know that there was lots of ups and downs and twists and turns. Tell us in your own words how you became the pilot that you are today.
Okay, since I know that this is a long story, I'll make the long story a bit short because it's only an hour. I cannot explain everything here. But then I am a registered nurse. I'm a registered nurse, so I graduated as a nurse and not as a pilot or anything. But then my heart wants to travel, and so I want to be in the airline industry because my dad, since I was a kid, he also works at Saudi Airlines. So I'm like accustomed to airlines. I so love traveling. And so I tried to apply as a flight attendant right after I passed the board exam as a registered nurse. So, well, I ended up getting a flight attendant job, but I wanted to become a pilot. But then I just graduated, I have kids, and so I don't want to, ask my parents again for help. And so, yeah, and then I became a flight attendant for 7 years. And while working, I was also studying as a pilot. And so after like 3 years in the making, I became a pilot. I passed the airline examination, etc. And then I became an airline pilot for 3 years. But then the pandemic happened. And so, yeah, so now I'm a pilot. And that's it. That's a short story. And I have 2 kids already. So they're my drive to reach for this dream. Hi, Stephanos. I see you there.
I love it. I love that we have the Nas Academy family in the building. So, Chezka, you mentioned your 2 kids, and I know that having these 2 kids, you were a teenage mom, and trying to study and work and do all these things was not easy. It's not easy being a mom in general, let alone being a teenage mom and trying to accomplish these dreams. Tell me more about what that process was like for you having these 2 kids.
Well, they're more of like my drive to my dreams, but then it's a very, very tiring. I can honestly say that it's tiring. It's a challenge actually, because I know like 7 days is not even, I cannot stress how 7 days is not enough for my day, for my week, because like when I for example, for Monday, for example, I go to work morning till afternoon, and then when I go home, they're there, and then that process for 3 days, and then after that, I'll be during my days off, I'll be going to the flying school and then study. So it's actually more of time management. It's really time management. And my kids, I really, really love my kids. I love that I had them already when I was a teenager, because at least I can say that now I can reach for my dreams without having to, carry those babies, and they're bigger than me already. So, so at least they're like my friends now. They're like my
Mm.
what do you call this? They're like my just same age. Sometimes they mistaken my son as my boyfriend because he's
Oh
too
my
big.
gosh, no way.
Yeah, I'm not even joking.
Oh my goodness. That is so cute and sweet. And you're absolutely right. Like, as you grow and continue to grow through this journey that you're on,
Yeah,
they're right there with you. And that's so
yeah.
special to have that support system there. And I think my mom is here tuning in live today, and my mom is one of my best
Hi,
friends as
mommy.
well. Hi, mom. And it's really cool to be able to do that alongside your kids. That's so I
Yeah,
love that you shared that story. It's because it's such an inspiration, not just to women everywhere, but to moms who are trying to accomplish their dreams, trying to work
yeah.
hard, and are also managing this family life. Like, when moms or when women come to you, do you have like tips? Do you have tricks? Do you have advice that you give to these women to say, this is how I manage to do it all?
Yeah. Well, when I give tips, I honestly sometimes I tell them that if you have a dream, it really doesn't matter if you're tired or whatsoever. As long as you have the dream and the drive to be there, then everything else will follow. Like,
Mm.
if even the time management, even if you have kids, even if you're a teenage mom, whatever circumstances that is, if you have a dream, I promise you, you can reach that dream, whatever problems or circumstances you
I love that. I love that. Let me give you some claps. I love it. I'm gonna be putting all the sound effects in our live today. And I think that's just such a good reminder for us, Chezka, that just like if you have this dream, just pursue it, no matter what the challenges are, no matter what the difficulties are. At the end of the day, pursuing your happiness, pursuing your joy, that's what's gonna be
have. Yeah.
the end goal. I think that's incredible. And you literally are such a phenomenal example of that, going from
Mm.
nurse to flight attendant to pilot. So as a pilot, like, when you get a pilot's license, I mean, what kind of planes are you flying? Are you flying small private planes? Are you flying massive, A380s? Are you flying military planes? Like, do you fly all the planes? I don't know. What kind of planes do you fly?
Okay, I fly the Airbus A320, or the one that the most airlines use. It's a 180 passenger capacity. So it's a big plane. Like, I do international, I do domestic flights, but I also fly at the moment small planes. So for leisure and for vlogging. But yeah, my license is good for the Airbus A320 type, the bigger one. It's the most
Okay.
what aircraft that most airlines use.
That is so so cool, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is just it's so cool, because I feel like what's very interesting is that even though there are a number of female pilots out there, I still don't feel like it's a 50-50 split. I don't think it's the norm to regularly have female pilots. So talk to us a little bit more about what it's been like for you as a woman in the aviation industry, as a female pilot. What has that process and that journey been like for you, not just as a mom, but as a woman in this industry?
Yeah. Well, when I started, I think like 2014. I started 2014. During that moment, there are not a lot of women pilots. But then I encourage these people, these women, to start because they just wanted at least one example. Like, I became the example of like, no, we can do this. I know there are a lot of women pilots before already, but I mean, no one is like in front of the camera telling them that, hey, this is how you do it, this is how you do it. And so, being a women pilot in the industry, actually, I what I know from now, it's 5% in the world. It's only 5%
Wow.
women Yes, women pilots. I'm not sure if that's the correct ratio right now, but the last time I checked, it's 5%. So it's not that it's yeah, team pilot. Yeah, it's not that many yet, but I'm so happy that every time I see this women pilots, I know that there are a lot of pilots right now who are trying to become a pilot, women who are trying to become a pilot. And as for me, my journey to this industry, honestly, it's I'm so lucky that I am in the airline industry for 7 years before I became a pilot.
Okay.
Because so I'm kind of used to it. Oh, see, it's 4.2%. So I'm kind of used to it, the airline before I became a pilot. So I know those people already, like people in the airline industry. But um, when I asked my friends who became pilots, who doesn't have any airline experience at all, they said that it was not easy. As for me, it's kind of like 50-50. I can say that it's easy and no. So, um, from what I experienced, mostly it's the passengers that are doubting me. It's not the other pilots because they know me already. That's different. So
Okay.
I can actually tell you like um what do you call this, problems or anything that arise because I am already in the industry ever since. So mostly it's the passengers. Like the flight attendants like, is the pilot a woman? And then like they're they're not what do you call this? They feel that they're not secure or something. So it's more of the passengers actually. It's not more of the pilots that I fly with. It's more of the passengers.
That is so interesting. And I feel like, for everybody who's watching this live or watching the rerun on YouTube, it's just such a powerful reminder to us to think about these biases, these internal biases that we might have, or these preconceived notions. Like, why would you think that you're less safe or less secure with a female pilot? Why has society and gender norms made it so that you would even think that, which is crazy to me. And for me, I know that I can probably count on one hand the number of times I've had a female pilot, and I've traveled extensively in my life. And every time I hear like a female voice come on, over the the in-flight audio system, I'm like, oh, I get so excited. I like want to run to the front and be like, girl power,
Yeah.
like I think it's cool, but what a shame that there's other passengers who are then doubting you just because you're a woman.
And just so they know, the training of the women and the men are just the same. Like
Mm,
literally, there's no special treatment or anything. The exam that they give us, it's all the same. The scenarios that they give us, it's all the same.
mm,
So I don't think that men or women are better than anybody. Like it's just the
right.
same. It's so
Yeah.
just so they know.
Absolutely. So then you touched on this a little bit, but you were sort of talking about how you had been a flight attendant for, I think you said, 7 years, for a really long time. Before transitioning into a pilot. Is that the norm? Do you feel like most people transition from flight attendant and then into pilot, or is that like pretty unique to you? And if so, do you feel like that actually really benefited you and really helped you as you decided to transition into a pilot?
Well, for me, it really helped me because I like when I was a flight attendant, I said to myself, I wanted to be in the airline industry forever. And so, it's not like in the US that the flight attendants can go as long as like 60 years old or, like up to whatever years old. In the Philippines, they're like, it's not the normal. And so
Oh.
I said to myself, like, I wanted to be in the airline industry forever, and there's no way but up, and there's no way but go to the flight deck because it's the retirement age is 67 years old here. So, and as long as you age, it's actually getting better if you become a pilot. But the transition of becoming a flight attendant to pilots before, it's actually not that what do you call this? It's not that uh, familiar to anybody. But then when I became one, I figured that most flight attendants wanted to become a pilot. And then, and so I think that is a very, very nice step for them because at least they know the whole aircraft. Like they know the cabin side and they know the pilot side. And
Yeah.
I think it benefited me and those who also went from cabin crew to becoming a pilot.
Ooh, I love that. It's so interesting because these are things I've just like I've never thought about that before. I've never thought about, is the flight attendant who I'm just chit-chatting with like, working up to become a pilot one day. Like it's just a really cool perspective shift. So I appreciate you sharing that and bringing that up. What have been my next question, Cheska, is what have been some of the most like interesting flights or like interesting experiences that you've had since being in the aviation industry? Like, what are some fun stories?
There are a lot. Like I cannot stress out one. But then, from what I remember right now is that when my mom and dad became my passengers to Malaysia, and then like it's oh my god, goosebumps. Like I felt like that's my payment to them. You know,
Mm.
like my whole life they've been helping me out, and when they became my passengers, it's like a dream come true for me. And I felt that they're so proud that moment, and I think that that's one of the best feelings in the world, like you giving back to your parents,
Wow.
and that's one. But most I've enjoyed a lot. Like for my 10 years in the airline industry, like I cannot give you one story. We can like make 10 hours and share to you like everything because I've been so happy with the airline industry that I have a lot of stories to tell. But then that's the only thing that I can remember right now.
You know what? That is such a beautiful story, though, Cheska. Like being able to fly your own parents. Like, what an honor. What a beautiful
Yeah.
celebration of love and of life. That is really, really cool. Have you
Yeah.
have you flown have you flown your kids yet?
Yes, I did actually. With the small plane and the big plane. So even my parents, I actually flew them with the small plane also. But then when it's the airline, it's different, because um, it's like a big one, and then I don't know, it's just different. But my kids also, I flew them also. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's so cool. I can't even imagine what it would be like to hop on a plane and be like, that's my mom at the front. That would just be so cool. I love it. I love it. Well, so we've been talking a lot about your journey in the aviation industry and you as a flight attendant, as a pilot, also as a registered nurse. But there's a whole other amazing side to what you do, and it's the fact that you're a content creator. So it's not just
Yeah.
that you're this amazing pilot and this tremendous pioneering, trailblazing woman in the aviation industry. You're actually showing it out there for the whole world to see
Yeah.
on YouTube and on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. So how did you first get into content creation?
This is really a funny story. Back when I was still studying as a pilot and a flight attendant, I really didn't want to take videos or pictures at all. Like, that was like 6 years, 7 years ago. I didn't like to do that. And so what's funny is that my airline before wanted me, like always gets me as the ambassador because I am a flight attendant and they wanted me to like share my story to the world. Like I became a nurse, a flight attendant. And so it started with that. And people kept asking, I started with that video, and that video is actually not for me. That's for the airline. So people started asking and asking, and so like I felt like it was a calling. It was a calling that people wanted to know and people wanted to have someone to look up to or like tell them about the journey that what I went through. And so I started with a bit of, and then commercials. Most brands got me already, and then it started there. And so I started my YouTube channel because of like people asking me questions a lot, and so I decided to like make a video of how to become a pilot because I don't want to answer one by one, and so I did the video about it, and yeah, and so uh, it started there, and then it's not actually a full time job. It's not a full time creator thing because I have an airline job before. And so when this year, because of the pandemic, it's because of the NAS Academy actually. It's because of NAS Academy that I started like full time, because I am not in the airline anymore. And I started full time. I started to know how to edit. I started to like be comfortable in front of the camera. Well, not actually yet, not that comfortable, but I became like more comfortable in the camera. And yeah, and so um what's and I think that this is God's calling also and purpose for me because I got into a big media company recently, and like they pushed me. It's a requirement actually to make vlogs and to make videos, and so I think that this is my content creation journey. I can actually tell people that hey, I'm a content creator right now because I have a media company with me. So yeah, that's my journey. It's really weird that I didn't like to take videos and pictures before, and now I am a content creator.
You are. You truly, truly are. I mean, for those of you watching this that don't subscribe to Jessica's YouTube channel or her Instagram, you need to go do that right now at Filipina Pilot Chezka. She has so much content. You share all sorts of amazing vlogs and videos. Is there a specific platform that you enjoy doing like more? Like, do you prefer Instagram more or TikTok or YouTube or something else?
I love TikTok. I really, really love
Ooh.
TikTok. I do everyday aviation there. I started everyday aviation. It's like I answer questions every single day. It's more of a commitment. It's like it's really a commitment because it's every day. I actually was really, really scared to start that because I told myself like, oh my gosh, if it's every day, if I can't do it, it's gonna be like it's not gonna be everyday aviation anymore. It's gonna be every other day aviation. And so yeah, I love TikTok, super love TikTok and YouTube. So that's my two main platforms.
Okay, I love that. And I think you're touching on something here, Cheska, about content creation, which is that like it is not easy to be a content creator. And I think a lot of people on the outside who just see these influencers with really big followings, they think that this is just like easy, like, and that, making videos is really simple. And that is totally not the case at all. Like,
No.
talk to us about like a week of content creation for you. Like, what does it look like? Do you have specific days where you film and then specific days where you edit? Like, what does it look like for you in addition to answering questions every single day on TikTok for everyday aviation?
Oh my gosh. Like what I do this November actually, as in like thrice or four times a week I shoot a video because I wanted it to like I want to rest this December, rest, but then it's still not rest because content creation is really a job. It's really a job, guys. Like I have so much contents in mind, super duper, but then the process of shooting, of editing, of everything, it's not a joke. It's not a joke, guys. So what I do is that for the everyday aviation, I shoot that video one day for like 15 videos so that at least 15 days I already have that. And then, but it's only a day. But sometimes when you're not in the mood, like, okay, let's just do 7. So because, because really it's not that easy, like even if you have, and sometimes when you know that this is the I don't do scripts, by the way. I don't do scripts, which is like I know NAS Academy always teaches us to do scripts.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't have the time and the effort to do my scripts, and so everything is random. Like one time, this is super funny. One time I recorded the camera, I pressed on the record, and then like right then and there I made up a question. Okay, and then I filmed. Like literally I don't have anything. Which is like I can tell you that this is not easy, guys. This is the,
Yes.
and they think that we earn a lot of money. We earn a lot of money because of content creation. Guys, this is a commitment and passion, honestly. Because it's not that as long as like you're big as Nas already, and Nas actually tells us that, right? Like, um, you should like it's passion. It's supposed to be like you love what you're doing. It's not just about the money. Because if it's about
Mhm.
the money, I tell you, content creation is not for you.
Oh my gosh, we're getting so much wisdom from you right now, Jessica. So many bars, like for all the budding, aspiring content creators out there, for everyone who's like part of the Nas Academy family who's watching. If
I'm
it's about
sorry
the
for
money,
doing it, guys.
I know. And you just burst everyone's bubble. You're like, if it's about the money, it's not for you. But I mean, I just think like it's really important that people hear you say that. And I know even for me, hosting this interview series, NIKKI BANZ Live, every single Tuesday, I host this, and it is a lot of work. Where I have to research my guests, I have to
Yeah,
watch your YouTube videos, watch other interviews you've done. I
yeah,
come up with questions, that I need to write
yeah.
down, and then I need to memorize, and then I need to ask them to you live, right? And it's like, and then I need to find guests every single week. And when you commit to doing something every day or every week, it truly is a labor of love. It's really just because we love to
Yes,
do this. And then we hope that one day a big brand will pick us up and then we get paid.
exactly. That's the truth, right? That's the truth. And like you do it weekly, right? I actually did this thing weekly before, and it's very, very tiring. That's why I stopped for a while, and then I told myself like I'm not gonna do lives anymore. But you're amazing, Nikki. I swear, you're amazing. Like this is a commitment for you, and I swear. But guys, brands will come. Everything else will come after if you really like what you're doing. I tell you.
Yeah, I agree. And it's good to again be reminded of that. So what was the class that you took at Nas Academy that helped with your content creation journey for anybody else who's trying to get involved or get interested in it?
Yeah, I actually am a scholar for the Grab for Good scholarship, and then
Ooh.
so they taught us the basics and how to edit, and then it's a 6 month fellowship, and I gained a lot of friends there. I'm so thankful that I was part of that, and then after that, was also a scholar for the Metaverse for the crypto, and then that's another class. So and then I just like to join like your class, and then the Fiona Grace, and then Aline's class, money class. So actually it helped me a lot because I get um, tips and things from creators also, because sometimes you need to hear. I was about to give up this creator thing, honestly, but then Nas came, and then I think it's really for me.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. I mean, that was a phenomenal testimonial. I'm about to call Nas Academy and be like, put us on your promo video. Like this is a shout out to giving us the resources and the tools to be able to create content and have that behind the scenes knowledge and know-how about how to
Mhm.
keep going even when it's hard to keep creating content and doing all this stuff. I think that's just really inspiring, Cheska. And when you go out and you film your content, your videos or anything, is it just you, or at this point do you have like a little team that you're working with now?
Okay, for the first few months, few years of my life, everything is just me. From makeup to filming to editing to publishing to everything. Like my brand, I can definitely tell you that the Filipina Pilot Chezka brand, I made that. I really made that myself.
Yeah, you did. You go, girl.
And but then because I'm in a big media company right now, just last month actually, they actually edit my videos weekly, and so I have a team. I can call them like I have a videographer, I have an editor, I have them publishing my videos, and so like everything is smoothly, transitioning right now. But then they edit my videos like once a week only. So I have a lot of videos. The problem with me is I have a lot of videos, and then I edit my videos too. So it's like a double work for me. They do some work and I also do mine.
Okay.
So
I see.
at
I
least I have
see.
a team now.
Well, congratulations on this amazing sponsorship and
Thank
finally having a team at your disposal. That's incredible. And it's truly a testament to all the hard work that you put in over the years, all by
you.
yourself, doing all those
Yeah.
things, just you. And now finally you're getting that recognition and getting that support, which will just help you continue to grow and to launch.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nikki.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. So, just a reminder to everybody tuning in to the Instagram live right now. I see that a couple people have already asked questions. Please keep asking questions. That little thought bubble at the bottom with the question mark in it, just click on that. You'll be able to type the question. In the last 10 or 15 minutes, I will ask all those questions to Chezka for you. So, please keep using that little feature. We'll definitely get to your questions. But I think my next question for you, Chezka, is about is about your name on social media, right? Filipina Pilot Chezka. So you actually, you have your country, where you're from, the Philippines, as part of your name, as part of your brand. Why
Yeah.
was that important to you to include like that, the fact that you're Filipina and the fact that you're from the Philippines? Why was that important to you when you were creating your brand?
You know, I actually I was actually helped by my airline before. They I asked them some names. If it's just Pilot Cheska, I feel like I don't know, because maybe I wanted to let the world know how Filipinas are. Like we are not just because sometimes, we have those stereotypes that sometimes I actually got what do you call this comments that says that I'm not good because I'm a Filipina. And then that's why I wanted that to become my brand because I wanted
Mm,
my name and then my profession and then my country. And so I wanted to represent those three. I wanted to become represent female pilots. I want to represent the Philippines. And so that became my brand. And just recently I got used to telling that as my name because before I'm Filipina Pilot Chess. I cannot actually tell. It's so like I'm not used to it. But then I told myself, oh my God, this is my brand. I cannot like um I just can't. So I need to tell people that that's my name, you know?
mm,
I want a
mm.
Filipino, those are, oh, see, I want a Filipino, those are uneducated. Anyway, anyway, moving forward.
Yeah, moving
See,
on. Yeah,
yeah,
moving on. No trolls here today. We know that
yeah.
people everywhere, women everywhere, especially like people. It's such an interesting thing. I think that the pandemic has really kind of highlighted the fact that like there's so much like xenophobia in the world, and that people have all these preconceived notions and misconceptions about different countries. I mean, even what's happening
Mhm.
right now in South Africa, right? So South Africa discovered a new variant of the virus that happens to exist in multiple other countries around the world. But then the global
Yeah,
north has said, okay, no, we're going to ban all flights from South Africa. No one from South Africa can travel. And it's like, wait a second. We discovered this thing. We shared it with the world because we're scientists of integrity. And then now you're going to go and ban us from coming to your places. It's when we only have a couple thousand cases a day. Okay, cool. So it's like it's so important to be able to be in these countries, to say, we're proud of where we're from, we're proud of these places that we're coming from, and just be very authentic in these spaces. And you do that so wonderfully with the Philippines. And I think that's really inspiring.
thank you so much, Nikki. And I just wanted it like, uh, I want to tell the world how talented Filipinos are. Like,
Mm,
we're not just, actually, it's not just the Philippines. Like, your country, whoever, it's just more of the women empowerment thing. And
yeah.
not just the women empowerment thing, it's the Philippines also. So that's why it became Filipina Pilot Chezka.
Yes, absolutely. And the Philippines is like such an interesting place, right? Like you've got this country that's consisted of over 7,600 islands, you know, like scattered across the ocean. Like do you regularly get the chance to fly and visit these different islands and different places around the country?
No, not all the places because it's a lot here. There's
Yeah.
very, Philippines. I was just telling my friend a while ago that the Philippines is really really nice. Like we have a lot of nice beaches and mountains, lakes, name it. Everything's here. And so before, what's funny is I was in the airline, but then I didn't get to travel much because I was working.
Yeah.
I was working,
You were
which
flying,
is
yeah.
weird. They thought that pilots or flight attendants have the time to explore the whole country, but no. That's the funny thing. For 10 years, I'm busy. I'm so busy that if it's my day off, I don't wanna go out anymore. So yeah. But I have visited a lot of places already.
Okay, okay. What are some of your favorite places to visit or to travel to, whether that be in the Philippines or in other countries?
In the Philippines, I really love Boracay and I really love Cebu. Um, well, yeah, and Cebu because Cebu is like a mix of in 10 minutes you have the beach feels, and in 10 minutes you have the city, in 10 minutes you have this, so everything's there. And I was based there for 6 months, and so I fell in love with Cebu. And one more, and the other countries, I love going to Korea because
Okay.
before, like twice a week, we stayed there because it's my job. So we do overnights there. So I really really love Korea. Like for 3 years, I think, or 5 years, every single week I'm there.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Well,
Yeah.
amazing, except you said you didn't really get to travel.
Yeah. But that's for work.
Yes, yes, that's for work. That's for work. Okay, I am loving that. I've actually never been to Korea. I would love to go visit South Korea one day. It's definitely on my bucket list. So when
Yeah.
I Yes, and when I had visited the Philippines, I said I was back in like 2006, 2007. That's because I actually used to live in Singapore. So I lived in Singapore for 2 years. And when I was there, you know, we visited the Philippines, we visited Indonesia, we visited Hong Kong, we visited Malaysia, you know, all the sort of Southeast Asian
Yeah.
countries. And it was
Yeah.
so incredible. And at the time, I was a teenager. So being able to travel and visit these beautiful countries across the Asian continent when I was like 13, 14, 15. It was very cool. But I need to come
Yeah.
back, like, now that I'm a grown up.
Definitely. I'll show you. I swear it's more beautiful now. It's different now. I'll tour
Yes,
you.
for sure, for sure. Have you ever been anywhere on the African continent?
Not yet, but it's my dream. Don't worry. Hopefully next year I will. I will go to your place. That's one
Yes.
of my dream destinations.
Yes, we would love to host you here in South Africa. You're welcome anytime. Come to Cape Town.
I will.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so since we have about 15 minutes left here on NIKKI BANZ Live with our very special guest, Filipina Pilot Chezka. Well, I see we have a couple questions from the audience, so let me read those, and I can ask those out loud until we get to the end of the show. So we have this one. So this one is from Envision Emotion. I think it's like two questions in one. It says, "Hi Cheska, I have a question about a journey opposite to you. I'm currently an airline pilot, but I would like to become a nurse. So what do you suggest how to study while still maintaining your work schedule?"
Okay, that's so cool because you're an airline pilot, you wanted to become a nurse. Sometimes I guess like what I did during my days off, I actually am studying. And so you can also do that. What I did, if you're in the airline, what I did, I asked for my leave. Like, well, I I I asked for like 1 week leave for example, my ground school, and then like every single day I do it. Or Sometimes I exchange my schedule to other people who wants to fly, but then and I want the day off. They want to fly, and so it's a win-win situation. It's more of giving out at least 50% or at least 30% of your flights to other people, or asking for leaves so you can finish what you want to finish, even if it's not being a nurse or something. So I think it's more on the time management um, aspect. And I know it's very tiring to become an airline pilot because, the difference between like working here on ground is like you feel at least 10 times tiring in 10 times tiring in the airplane than here.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, it is because of the oxygen and everything. It may not be 10 times, but I feel like it's 10 times, maybe 5 times, that the the tiredness that you feel. But again, if you have the drive, if you want to do it, then if you have that goal, then do it. You can
Mm,
actually manage it, especially if you're single, you can do it.
mm,
I
mm.
actually have kids. So
I love it. I love it. You can do it. That's the key message
yeah,
from this.
yeah,
You can do it. Whatever that dream is, whatever that goal is, switching careers, this one into that one, you can do it. I love it.
yeah.
And then what advice do you have for people who are brand new into the aviation industry as they enter? What are the first steps? What are some of the things that they should be thinking about as they enter the industry?
Okay. What I always tell these aspiring pilots is that this is a commitment. This is a lifelong study because we do it like in the airline every 6 months. We need to pass that simulator check. We need to study every 6 months up until you die. I swear, it's not even a joke. It's a
Wow.
continuous learning process, and if you are really committed, if you really like it, then do it. But if you are not 100% sure that you like it, don't. That's the
Mm,
first step. Actually. Like, ask yourself, is it really what you want? Because it's not a joke. It's stressful. It's um it's not a joke to handle 180 lives or more in one aircraft, and so you need to make that decision that you really like it, and that's the first step. I always tell them. Number two, you need to have a good attitude because you know um in the airline industry, not just, well, actually in the world, what you need to have is a good attitude, but like more so importantly here in becoming a pilot, because you will work with a lot of different with people every day, different people every single day. It's not the same. It's like not in the office, like you go to the office, you see these people, familiar faces every day. No, it's different. So you deal with different kinds of people every day, so you need to have that good attitude. You need to have um in the Philippines, we call it pakikisama, or how you deal and with people. So you should develop that. And then the third one, I guess, is that God will provide. So if it's really for you, He will make a way to give it to you. If
mm.
it's really for you, just start that dream within you, and I'm sure everything else will follow.
Ooh, yes. Thank you for sharing such inspiring and motivating feedback for all the aspiring pilots out there. I think that's really important for people to consider and think about as they move forward on this journey. So I guess
Yeah.
my last question for you, Cheska, is just what's next? Like what's on the horizon? What's coming soon? How can we continue to support you in your journey as Filipina Pilot Chezka? Like give us the behind the scenes of what's coming up soon so that we can all keep an eye out for it.
At the moment, I'm doing like full-time content creation, so I can assure you that there will be more high-quality content of videos coming for everybody, especially those aspiring pilots, aspiring flight attendants. Actually, it's more of not just about the aviation industry, but it's more of a I do collaborations recently with a lot of artists here in the Philippines and let them experience becoming a pilot. And so for the next months, it will be full-time content to my YouTube channel, Filipina Pilot Chezka, and there's gonna be a lot more. And for the everyday aviation in TikTok, so I answer questions there. If you have questions, just put it in TikTok, and I will answer everything. And hopefully next year, back in the airline industry. That's really my main goal for the next year. And I think that's it.
Amazing, amazing. Well, we're sending all of the good vibes, all of the good energy into the universe so that you're back in the airline industry ASAP. And we're so excited about your content creation journey and your brand and your big sponsorship that you just received. It's really motivating and inspiring. And like you said, not just for pilots, not just for people who want to be flight attendants, but for everyone, for me and for everyday people, everywhere. It's just really, really cool to hear from you and to learn your story. And yeah, I really appreciate you coming on NIKKI BANZ Live and sharing your story with all of us. Do you have any final thoughts? Anything I missed? Anything you want to share with the world on NIKKI BANZ Live here today?
First, I want to thank you. Thank you for inviting me. And you told me that I'm the first Filipina that you ever interviewed here. And I'm so honored. Thank you so much. Because you're actually the first African who interviewed me too. So yeah, thank you so much for that. And yeah, just go for your dreams, guys. Like, everything will fall into place. I know it's the pandemic now, and maybe you're in the waiting season, just like me. Waiting season meaning you're not sure of what will come. You're not sure of the plans that God has for you. But then just have faith, and I'm sure faith, and not just pray. Have faith and have a dream. Okay, that's the most important. Have a dream, and everything else will follow. So yeah, thank you so much, Nikki, for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you. This is literally what this show is all about: building bridges around the world, cross-cultural collaboration and dialogue, talking to people from the Philippines, from the US, from South Africa, from anywhere in the world. So I'm so honored to have you on NIKKI BANZ Live today. And with that, I think it's a wrap. Filipina Pilot Chezka, it's been so great having you on. I'm going to put this recording up on YouTube. It'll stay on IGTV so we can watch it forever and ever and ever. Thank you to all the people commenting, everybody being here, and thank you for just being here on NIKKI BANZ Live.
Thank you, Nikki, and thank you for watching, guys. Subscribe to all my social media accounts, Filipina Pilot Chezka.
Absolutely. All right, sleep tight tonight, Chezka. I'll talk to you again very soon. Thank you, everyone, for being here on NIKKI BANZ Live.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye, Nikki. Thank you.
Bye.